If you want to grow your business but are wondering how the heck you're going to do that when you're already stretched to the max, we got to talk. The good news is you don't have to continue feeling overwhelmed with managing your clients and frustrated by the amount of time you're spending sending emails, managing appointments, sending appointment and payment reminders, sending contracts, invoices, and hounding clients for information that you need to get started on their projects. There is a way to simplify things and take at least 20 hours a week off your plate so you can grow your business without the stress, overwhelm, and burnout. I'm going to give you the 3 things you need to do to set yourself up for growth and future success without burning you out. Let's get started. Welcome to the Systems for Creatives podcast with Amy Gould. I'm Amy, and you've come to the right place if you want to find strategies, tactics, and tools to go from stressed out, overwhelmed entrepreneur to creative boss of your business. I work every day with creative entrepreneurs like you to create systems that take the drudgery out of managing clients and help them to create automated, systemized processes so they can get back to the things that really lit them up about their business in the first place. So let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about why now is the time to ask these questions and make these changes. For starters, when you started your business, you had maybe 1 or 2 clients. The systems you were using worked well for them, but the more clients you add, you find yourself just getting buried by the details and completely overwhelmed. Then it's really time to think about building your systems so that you can scale. There's no way you want more clients coming into your business when you have really disorganized systems. It's just not going to be a great client experience, and it's going to be frustrating and overwhelming for you. So now is the time, before you start adding more clients, start looking at your systems and build out the processes and automations that can support you as you grow your business. You don't want to add more clients without the systems to support them, because that's going to get you bad reviews and create a poor client experience. And that's not what you want for the clients that you work with. You want them to rave about you and to love your services and what you did for them. You want them to tell all their friends how amazing it was to work with you and send them your way. This is going to build you clients for life and referrals, and both of those are also going to contribute to you scaling your business. If you do decide to add more clients into your business without setting up those systems, processes, and automation, one of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to burn out, or like I said, you're going to hastily implement poorly thought out systems. You might patch in some team members that really aren't well thought out or well hired, and definitely not well trained. And it's going to end up costing you way more in the long run than paying someone to help you put together automations will in the short term. Don't believe me? Let's do some basic math here. Let's say you do hire a VA to handle your email communication with your clients, send appointment reminders, invoice them, check in with them throughout your work together, and they check everything on a to-do list so you have visibility. How many hours a week would you be paying that team member to keep them working for you? I mean, most VAs want at least 10 hours a month, but that's not going to get you more than maybe 2.5 hours a week. Hardly worth putting in your time and energy to train someone to take that amount of time off your plate. So let's say you start at 20 hours a month. The going rate in the US is at least $20 an hour for a pretty decent VA, and that's $400 a month. In less than 9 months, you'll have paid for the cost of automating all those tasks we just mentioned. However, the math probably isn't 100% accurate, because you'll have to invest a ton of time in training your VA, writing them canned email templates that they can use to respond to clients, creating documents and templates for them to send on your behalf. You can't expect them to just make things up out of thin air. You'll need to map out the process for them to follow and ensure that they're following in the process. So after a couple of months of training and setting up processes and automations You'll finally have someone trained up. Assuming they don't leave, you'll have someone to take all that work off your plate. But how much money is your time actually worth? That's what you really need to think about in this equation. And what you really need to do to avoid burnout and set yourself and your business up for success. And the way to really do this is create processes for every service that you offer. This is key, and I'll explain more in just a bit, but having written processes you follow allows for more consistent delivery of your services and makes it easy to outsource. Then 2, you're going to set up automation for all the repetitive tasks that you feel comfortable handing over to automation. I don't believe in automating every single thing in your business, but I do believe there are things that everyone can automate in their business. I'll go into what this looks like in more detail and give you an idea of the things you can automate and should automate in your business later. Then you're going to outsource tasks that need a human to do them. Just make the human, not you. And we're going to talk about how you decide which tasks to outsource and which tasks to automate. So let's dive into this in more detail. If you find yourself thinking, what's next? Every time you sit down to work with a client or to work on a project for a client, this next part of this episode is going to help a ton because we're going to talk all about the real missing piece here that you need to put in place in your business to help you set yourself up to scale. It's not sexy, I'm not going to lie. It is setting up standard operating procedures. SOPs are huge. They take the thought out of your processes and they allow pretty much anyone to be able to pick up the ball and run with it, even if you're not there. And ideally, you'll want to create them for every task that needs to be done in your business. But we're going to start small by thinking just the processes for managing your services. And I want to encourage you just to keep the process from being too overwhelming. Focus on one service to start with. Maybe you even just focus on one part of the service to start with. Let's say you focus first on the lead part. What happens after someone completes a lead capture form or calls your business or sends you an email? What is the next step that you need to take them to the next step in the process? So start there, start small, the smallest piece that you can that's not overwhelming, and map that out. What I usually tell my clients is get a big old pad of sticky notes, write one step on each sticky note and stick it to the wall. That way you can move the steps around if you need to. You can trash them if you decide later it's not a good fit and you want to do something different. Nothing's permanent and it's really easy to just take the stickies on and off the wall and map it all out. Take it small, set a timer for 10 minutes, and when that's done, celebrate your win because you're that much closer to having that process mapped out. So once you've nailed down the process from lead through offboarding, the next thing that you're going to want to do is take a look at the processes and look for opportunities to automate. There are lots of ways to add automation in your business. For starters, let's look at client relationship management software. What is a CRM or client relationship management software? Well, one of my clients recently described it to me as sort of like your old school Rolodex or digital phone book with an added on secretary, accounts payable department, and file cabinet. So basically, a CRM helps you keep track of your client's information all in one place, along with any documents you've sent them, questionnaires, forms, contracts, invoices, any payments that have been made, any notes that you've made about your client and the calls that you've had with them. All of that kind of stuff, as well as their progress through any automations that you've built. all in one place in their client record. And then you have multiple client records, each one for each client. And that allows you to see everything that belongs to each client in one place, like your old school file cabinet and your file folders, if you are familiar with that kind of stuff. Or your Google Drive. Although if your Google Drive looks like some of my clients and friends, maybe not such a great example. So my favorite CRM, as you probably know already, is Dubsado, but you should choose one that's a good fit for you and your business. Here are some things that most business owners will want in a CRM. Collect information from leads, and usually you do this with a lead capture form. I love to use a lead capture form that's embedded in a website so that your client can go right to your website, fill out a form, and then get hopefully an automation that responds to them right away with some more information. Usually a CRM will keep all of your client information and project information in one place. You definitely want one that's going to allow you to book appointments, send appointment reminders, send proposals, remind clients of payments and upcoming payments due and past due, send contracts and get a digital signature, collect payments. You also want to be able to schedule emails that go out to clients while you're working with them. And that would give you the capability to update clients on where they're at in your project or what's been done and what's upcoming, or to share information that they could use to improve their experience with your product, program, or service. You also want the ability to create a canned email database so that you can easily follow up with clients using frequently sent emails. It's a huge time saver in your business. Ideally, you want a CRM that's going to allow you to string those things together in sequences using automation. This is really where the true time savings and mental energy savings lie in this whole process that we're talking about today. So what are the things that you can automate? I mean, I've kind of hinted at some things here, but things that I recommend automating, at least to start, are the lead capture form and an immediate follow-up with an email thanking them for filling out your form and letting them know you'll be in touch shortly, as well as maybe including some additional information about hiring what it is that you do, hiring someone to do what it is that you do. This way they can get some more information to help them make a good buying decision. I definitely think using a scheduler to automate your booking process is a huge win and will save you a ton of time in the long run because you won't have to do the back and forth email, what I like to call email ping pong, to book appointments with clients. And last but not least, the third thing that I love to automate with businesses is sending that proposal with an attached contract and invoice so that the client can choose what they want for a package or add-ons, sign the contract, and then pay the invoice. And I think that's just a huge win for business owners because as they'll get the experience that it's much easier to work with you. They're not bouncing around from one software tool to another one or having to download a contract and then sign it and then upload it somewhere and then go and log into their PayPal to pay you all in one spot, quick and easy, and allows them to book in really simply with you. So I think those are the three things right off the bat I can think of that I would automate in a business. But then once you've automated as much as you want to in your business, then I would look at outsourcing tasks to a person. And you really want to kind of take a look back at what tasks you're doing in your business and how long they're taking. Then I would encourage you to divide those tasks up into the tasks that you love to do, that you are the only one that can do them, and the tasks obviously that you would automate. Hopefully you've already automated those. And then these other tasks are the things that you don't necessarily have to do, or they don't light you up and really make you excited about doing your job. And those are the things I would considering outsourcing. You definitely want to keep the tasks that light you up and bring you joy. Obviously, the artistic tasks that brought you to your business in the first place should definitely be mostly remaining on your plate, but maybe there are parts of those even that you can outsource. I know some of my photographer friends definitely like to outsource editing and culling photos and that sort of thing. And they found a lot of processes to do that let them keep the artistic integrity and the design style that they have, photography style that they have, without having to spend hours and hours and hours editing photos. So that's it in a nutshell. The 3 changes creative business owners need to make to grow their business without burning out. 1, map out your processes. 2, automate what you can. 3, outsource what you don't want to do, what you can't automate, and what doesn't light you up. And this is going to be the way to set your business up to grow without depending on you to do every single part of it. I would encourage you to start taking these steps today. Don't try to do it all at once. It's completely overwhelming and exhausting. Set aside time each week to pick a small piece of your business and focus on that. Make it small. Make it manageable, and you will see great success over the coming weeks as you tackle each bit of your business. And if you want help mapping out your processes, I do offer a 90-minute system strategy call. It's perfect for getting those processes mapped out and having some accountability around that. Or if you'd like to get your Dubsado or HoneyBook CRM set up for you, including my help creating an amazing client experience, from lead through offboarding and beyond, both are available on my website. Head over to amysgould.com and you can find both of those things. I look forward to chatting with you, and I will talk to you again next week. Until then, have an awesome week, and I'll be in touch soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. I know it's super easy to listen to a podcast and not actually take action. So I'm challenging you today to write down a step that you're going to take. Maybe it's taking action on something I talked about today, or maybe it's booking a system strategy session or free discovery call to talk about Dubsado setup with us. All of that is over at amysgould.com. If you haven't yet signed up for my free newsletter, that's a really great next step if you're not sure what comes next. You can get amazing tips and strategies delivered straight to your inbox, and you can find that opt-in on my website as well. Last but not least, please take a moment to subscribe and leave a rating or review if you loved what you heard here today. Go to your favorite podcast player and leave a rating or review. I'd love to hear what you think of the show and how it's helped you. I can't wait to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going.